Hi everyone, welcome back to Karate API Automation Test Series. So today we are going to automate our first API by using Karate API Automation tool. Okay, so as we discussed in the last class, so we created a Maven project. So Maven project will give automatically the folder structure, and we know the importance of the pom.xml. In the pom.xml we already added the dependencies related to Karate, so then we can use these dependencies and we can automate our first API by using Karate here. Okay, if you want to automate your API, so we need to write all the functionality under this folder src test java. So first I am going to src test java new and package. So I am creating the first package as a name, and I'm clicking on the finish. So the first package is created, so then I'm going and clicking on the first package. So new and file, I am creating a one file. So first API test, so I am giving the name as first API test, and I am extending with dot feature. So I am clicking on the finish. Okay, so once I clicked on the finish after giving the dot extension feature, so this text is automatically generated. So what this text, this is explaining about. So this we are created a feature file. So a feature file is a plain text file, so which will explains about the behavior of the product and the functionality. Okay, so once you want to explain to someone, so what you are actually doing, so if somebody is coming and reads this plain text from in the feature file, so they will understand the functionality what we are automating here. So that way this feature file helps us. So this feature file is included with some keyword. Those keywords are taken from the Gherkin language. So combinedly this feature file and the Gherkin language is generally known as behavior driven development, so popularly known as BDD framework. Okay, in the BDD framework, so always the user understands the behavior from the feature file in simple language. In the simple English language, they can read and understand without knowing or without having any coding knowledge. Okay, so if you read one by one line, so then you will understand very easily. So first we'll try to understand what this feature file explaining about. Okay, so this is the author, so whoever is developing this one, we can give their email and the keyword summary. So there are some keywords, so we need to understand what these keywords are. So first keyword is the feature. So what is the feature? So this is the feature. So this is everything is completed, everything is commented, so we can just read and understand. So the actual test is starting from here. Okay, you can see this from line 20 it is starting. So then first one is the this tags we will discuss in detail in the coming classes. So first we'll discuss about this feature. Okay, so feature is the keywords, it will contains the list of scenarios. So if you want to test some functionality, so then the high level functionality we will write as a feature. So if you are not detailing here, so you are saying about that functionality or that feature, so high level you are saying here. So the title of the feature, you are just giving the title what you are going to test. So this keyword is contains the list of scenarios. So once you know what to test, so we need to divide it into number of scenarios. So see, based on the business based on the business or the based on the functionality, so we will divide this feature into multiple scenarios. So you can see here, so if you want to test something, so then that you are dividing into multiple scenarios. So you can write n number of scenarios under the feature. So this is the first scenario, and the next scenario you can write n number of scenarios one by one under the feature. Okay, so then after that one, so there is a keyword called given. So if you are giving this given, so it is talking about the precondition. So if you want to test something, so if there is any precondition, so we always tag with this given keyword. Then when is the another keyword, so it will explains about the action, the actual key action. So what we are testing, so the actual functionality we will define with the when. After functionality, so there is another keyword then, so to observe the outcome. So if you are testing something, we will expect something, so some validation or some output or some outcome will come, so we will tag that outcome with then. Okay, so given with the precondition, when with the action, then with the outcome or the validation output. So then if there are multiple actions you are performing, so then you need to connect with and. If there is a positive scenario, so after when, so if you are doing some action, then again you are performing another action, so you need to connect both the actions with the and keyword. So then this but keyword, if is a positive scenario, we need to use and. If it is a negative scenario, so some action you are performing, so that is positively happening, and then you are expecting to do some action with negative scenario. So that negative scenario we will command with but keyword. So given, when, then, and, but are the mostly used keywords, so we taken from the Gherkin language. So now one more time, so given is always we will tag with the precondition. So if there is any action, we will take when, and if there is any outcome we are expecting from the action, so then. So if you want to connect when and then, so you need to use and but keywords. So and is always used for the positive actions and but with the negative scenarios. Okay, so now you understood what is feature and what is scenario and what is these keywords about. And so there is another keyword, so scenario outline. So we will detailedly discuss about the difference between scenario and scenario outline. So under the feature, so one example we see here with the scenario, another example with the scenario outline. So what the scenario and scenario outline we will discuss in detail in coming lectures. So then in the same way, examples also. So here you can see examples keyword here with some data. Okay, we will discuss what the data and what is this examples about. And so there is another important keyword, backward. So we will discuss in the coming lectures about what background is tells about. Okay, so now hopefully you understood. So now once Maven project is, after creating a Maven project, so we are creating one package. So under the package I am creating one feature file. So once the feature file is created, so this sample feature file is here, how to create, it is guiding us. So once it is clear, so then we can go and create a new feature file based on our actual test. Okay, so if you observe, so there are so many colors. So these keywords are highlighted with the multiple colors. So how these colors are highlighting, so we need to install one plugin. So that plugin I am installing from the Eclipse marketplace. So for that you need to go to help, in the Eclipse and navigate to Eclipse marketplace, click on Eclipse marketplace. So wait for loaded. So it is loaded. So just in the find, so just type cucumber. Cucumber and then enter. So then you will see this Cucumber Eclipse plugin. So it is already installed in my laptop, that's why it is showing install. So if it is not installed, so there is a button with the install, so you go and click on that install. So wait for completing the installation. So then it will ask to restart your Eclipse, then restart your Eclipse, then you will be ready with this plugin. So after installing this plugin only, you will see this kind of feature file with all the different highlighted colors. Okay, so this is the basic understanding of the feature file. So once it is clear, so then we can remove everything from here. So I'm removing the tag also. I'm removing the otherwise remove everything to understand very clearly. So then, so if you want to create your feature file based on your functionality, what you need to do? So first you need to go to src test java, create one package, under the package create one feature file. So this is your first API test feature file. So then what you need to write? You need to create a feature file. Just start with feature. So this is the feature. So now what API you want to test? So we already discussed in the last class about some APIs. I'm just taking the random API. So this is one get API and this is the URL, and when I clicking on the send button and it is giving the 200 OK response. So this is the basic validation of one API. So one URL I have, so a request type is get, and I'm sending this URL and I am expecting 200 OK, and the response is coming like this. So what is this about? So this is this API we are sending the request to get all the users. So all the users in the JSON placeholder. Okay, so this is telling about the users. Okay, so the same thing. So if you want to automate any API or any test, so if you want to automate, first you need to test functionally whether the functionality is working as expected or not. So my expectation is, so this users API will respond with all the users when I am sending the request. Okay, so this is expecting, it is behaving as my expectation. Okay, the same thing I want to automate by using the Karate. Okay, for that one, so I am taking this URL. Okay, so this is talking about the users. Okay, so now feature, what we discussed in the in the here, what is feature? So feature will use the high level functionality. So validate the users in the JSON placeholder. Okay, so I want to do some validations on the users which are there in the JSON placeholder. So this is I want to test high level. Okay, so once high level test is done, so what we need to do? So I want to convert this high level functionality into smaller pieces. That smaller pieces I need to write in the scenarios. I need to divide this high level piece into small pieces. Okay, scenario. Okay, I am writing the scenario. Okay, what is the scenario I need to write here? In the scenario, I need to write the scenario. So validate the users API contains all the users or otherwise validate the response code with the users API. So whatever you want to test, so that you can write in a normal English language in the feature file. So if you read this one or someone, so they need to understand what you are going to test here. So what I want to test here, in the feature high level, validate the users in JSON placeholder. So I want to validate the users. So so which are there in the JSON placeholder. And so what specifically I am testing here, validate the users API contains all the users. So we are testing one API, so I want to test whether all the users are available in the API or not. So that I want to test. So how you want to test? So if you want to test this API, so then you need to follow some steps. So that steps I am writing in the test cases. So in the first test case, so I am doing this one, this action I am doing, and I am expecting something. So that way, so we will write the manual test case, right? So in the same way, so I need to write the steps here. So how we need to write by using the karate? So that we already discussed. So some example we already see. So where did we see? So just we saw in the karate official documentation. So go to karate official documentation, scroll down, you can see. So this is the hello world API testing here. Okay, what they did? So in the scenario they written, and they written some steps. So the steps is created based on the Gherkin language keywords. So first keyword, so we need to write the precondition, and that is we use the given and when. So what actually we are actioning, and what is our expectation. Okay, so in the same way, by using this syntax, so we need to write our karate API test case here. Okay, so then go to here. So first what we need to use the keyword. First keyword is given. So given, if you don't understand, come back here. So given URL. Okay, so I am writing given URL. So then I need to give the URL here. I need to give the URL here. So this is the URL I am using. Just copy and paste here in the single quotes. Okay, so then what you need to do? You need to give the type. Okay, so just the method type I am using the method type as get. When method get, then status equal to 200. So then what I am doing here, just high level feature I written. So I want to convert this high level feature into multiple scenarios. So the first scenario, just I am validating the API contains all the users or not. So for that one, I taken the API, and my request method is get. Then I am clicking on the send button. Then I am verifying the response code is 200, okay or not. So this is the way we need to write our API test by using the karate. So the same we followed from here. So it is very simple. So whatever we did in the Postman, the same thing I implemented here. Okay, so this is very basic example we are implementing here. Okay, so in the future classes, so once we learn more things, the more the keywords, so then automatically the structure will be changed. But initial validation, how we are doing the Postman as a manual QA, so the same thing I am implementing the same API test by using the karate here. Okay, hopefully everybody get this one. Okay, so once it is done, once it is done, so here in the Postman I am directly going and sending. I am just clicking on the sending, then automatically it is hitting the server, and it is giving the some response. So in the same way I need to run this one. So the test case is ready, but I need to click on the send, and I need to wait for some response. So the same way, if you want to run this test case in karate, what we need to do? We need a runner. Okay, so for that one, so just I am going to karate official documentation, and I am going to index. In the index you can see, so this is the run. So we started with Maven, and we written some test case, the basic test cases. I need to run that one. So for that one, what you need to do, you need to use, it is saying that you need to use the JUnit 5. Okay, so this is the JUnit runner we are using, we are going to use in the karate test. So this is the way you need to implement your runner here. So before that one, what we need to do, so if you want to run your karate test by using JUnit 5, you need to add one more dependency. So for dependency, where we will get all the dependencies in the Maven repository, go to Maven repository and then search for karate JUnit 5, karate JUnit 5. Okay, this is the karate JUnit 5 dependency. The latest version is 1.4.1. So just copy this Maven dependency, go to your project structure, click on pom.xml. So in the dependencies, we need to add karate JUnit 5 version. Okay, this is the latest version is available. Just I am adding here. Okay, so once this is added, the build is going on, meaning all the dependencies are downloading, and so it will add under the Maven. Okay, we know that one. So once it is done, then we are ready to use this JUnit 5. So in the JUnit 5, so if you go to this documentation, see, so here we need to create one class, we need to create one Java class. So for that one, go to Eclipse. So in the same package, so I am creating one class. Okay, sample runner. I am just giving as a name sample runner and just click on the finish. So now I given an extension as Java. So this Java extension, it is created one class here. Okay, so now if you go here, it is saying that, so this is the example they given. So they created one Java test class, and we can write the runner in different ways. So you can see, so this is one method, and this is one more method, and this is one more method. Okay, there are different methods in a class. So if you know some basics about Java, so Java project, then package, then class, under the classes there are multiple methods they implemented. Okay, so now what they are doing here, so this is the sample, this is the method test sample. This criteria is one criteria, based on one criteria it is running. So it is running based on the another criteria. So you can see, compare these two, here tags are added additionally, and if you compare this to this, so you can see tags, and you can see the environment, and you can see the system property. Okay, so we will discuss more on this one. So how to create and what are the difference between these all the properties here. So but simply for now, so you can copy any one of the method here. So go here, I am just copying one method under this class, so you can see what is happening. So when I am pasting here, you can see some into marks, so some errors it is giving. So why the errors are giving? So if you want to understand this error, just hover your mouse on this karate. Okay, so wherever the error is there, you can go and hover on that one, then automatically it will give. So this will run. So what we are going to run, we are going to run first API test. So this where you need to give your feature file, first API test. Okay, first API test. So now it is suggesting to import karate. So we have JUnit 5 dependencies in the pom.xml. but we are not imported into this particular class. That's why it is throwing an error. So if it is throwing an error, if you hover on this karate, then some suggestions will come. Based on the suggestions, you will understand why this error is coming. So it is asking to import. So your JUnit dependency from your pom.xml. So that is the expectation from this error. Okay, so that's why I'm importing here. So once I'm clicking on the import, you can see all the errors, all the red errors are gone, and this import is happened. Additional line is added. So this import, we have JUnit file in our dependency file, but it is not imported in the class. Now it is imported. So if you save this one, then all the errors are gone. Okay, so now this one, this sample runner will run our first API test feature. So we linked like this. So for every feature, so we need to create one sample test runner. We need to create one runner. So based on that runner, we need to run. So one runner is required to run our test cases. Okay, so we'll, in the coming classes, we will discuss each and every word here, but to understand very simply, so just this is the runner. We need one runner to run our feature files which are existed under this package. So that just I am giving my feature file to JUnit, and then I am asking this JUnit to run my feature file. So now if you see, you can see the JUnit test here. Okay, just click on this JUnit test. So how it came? So you can go to this feature file and right click. You can see it is not associated with anything. It is it is showing the cucumber feature. So if you go to sample runner Java, so then click on this one and go here. There are number of suggestions are coming. So run as JUnit test. Okay, so we are using JUnit only, right? So that's why it is showing JUnit. So anyway, you just right click, go to run as. So click on the JUnit test. So then it will start run. Okay, so you can see it is started. It is started. So everything is coming here. So if you open this console, you can see step by step. So this is the console. It is giving. Okay, there are so much of information. Mostly you understand. So that what is this? Okay, so just don't bother about this one. Just if you go to this end, you will see the nice HTML report for this karate. Okay, so you can see HTML report is generated for this one. Just I am copying this link. Copy, go to your browser, just paste here. Okay, so you can see, so this is the karate HTML report is generated. So that what is happened? So what this API is telling? So what this report is telling? So this is run by karate on this 2025-01-2 at this time. So then the total number of test cases passed, number of test cases failed, and number of scenarios in that particular feature. Okay, this is talking about the feature. Okay, validate the users in the JSON folder. So it is passed. So how it is passed? You can see, if you can click on the feature file, then you can see the steps what we written here. Okay, so the steps are here. If you go here, so these are the steps we implemented in this feature file. So the same thing it is there in the report. Okay, so just we given the URL and we actioned as a method type as get. So once it is HTTP method as get, so then what is doing? So it is get HTTPS. It is actioning on this API and it is giving the response. This is the response we see. Okay, the same response what we get in the Postman, the same response we got here. So then the response code, it is 200. That's why it is passed. So the same thing. So what we did in the Postman and what we did in the karate API test, both the same, so both are giving the 200 response. So then our test is done. So this is the basic test I did in the Karate API. Okay, so we are getting the 200 response. So this is the way we need to start our automation for APIs by using a Karate API test automation. Okay, thank you.